Hi, I'm John, and this is a full power Frieza figure from the Dragon Ball Z Omnibus Brave line. I've always seen pictures and videos of this figure and thought it always looked very bland and flat, but once I saw this figure in person, I knew it had potential and picked it up. So let's see if I can bring this Frieza to its 100% power. First, I had to make some icy soup. After 20 minutes of effort, this was about the best I can do to take it apart, so I decided to paint around the gems that I couldn't remove. First, I base coated Frieza's upper body using our favorite color, Stonewall Gray. I like to paint the base coat maybe about 3 shades darker than the final color so that when I dry brush it, the base coat will act as some deep shading. Moving up to his face, I carefully painted around his eyes and mouth since I liked what I did with it, and if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Moving to his tail and lower body, I base coated it with the same Stonewall Gray, but I also had to carefully paint around the clear bases around his feet since I forgot to pull them off after soaking the figure in the hot water. Next, I dry brushed the figure using white, going over the highest raised areas of the skin first, and then blending in the other areas to give it more of a gradient. The gray undertones mixed with the white dry brushing makes him look more light gray at the end, which is actually my preferred color for figures of Frieza since it sort of brings out the textures more than just a flat white. Moving on to the gems, I painted over them using some royal purple. I probably could have left these alone, but the texture across a few of them were a bit inconsistent, so I said why not. Painting the ones that I couldn't remove wasn't too tough, but it definitely could have been faster and cleaner to paint if I was able to pop them off. Next, I started painting on the missing battle damage, using the full color manga as a reference. I mixed together some flat blue, royal blue, black, Vallejo thinner medium, and flow improver. The flow improver was really important here since I was painting in such thin, fine lines. I was pleasantly surprised that for the most part, a lot of the blood scratches were actually sculpted into the figure, making it easier for me to match the source material. Lastly, I dry brushed the blood on the tip of his tail using that same mixture to match that smudge look that he has in the manga. Moving on to the finer details, I gave Frieza a mani-pedi using some black paint on his nails. I also went back to the eyes and lips to redraw some of the black lines that I couldn't clean up after dry brushing. Then, using a black wash made with Tamiya black panel liner and X20 thinner, I painted over all the scratches that weren't bloodied up. I also did the same thing on his deepest muscle crevices and the creases over his eyes, nose, mouth, and chin, and the lines going down his cheeks. I also did the same on the creases of the bended sections of his tail to give the shading a little extra impact. After I had such a good time using UV resin on Moro's gems, I decided to go all in on UV resin and do them on Frieza's giant purple parts. Since Moro's gems were such a small surface area, it spread quite easily. I had a hard time getting the resin to spread evenly across these giant bulbs. By the time I got to his shoulder pieces, I think I got a good handle on it, but couldn't help but feeling a little bit of regret getting myself into this situation, knowing I could have just clear coated it and called it a day. After curing all these pieces using some UV light, all I had to do was put the pieces back together, and that was it. Here's how it looked before, and here's the final product. I'm really happy about how this figure turned out. All it really needed was some shading for it to go from something bland to one of the standouts in my collection. The figure sculpt had so much texture in it, and I'm glad that the paint job I did really brought that out. And while the surfaces of the resin gems weren't perfect, I'm super happy with the amount of gloss that it has, and it really makes the figure pop. Let me know what you think in the comments. Of course, special thanks to my Buy Me a Coffee members. If you want to check out my membership for some behind the scenes photos, videos, and member only polls, please check out the video description for my page on buymeacoffee.com. Also, as always, I have everything listed in the description below as Amazon affiliate links. You can also import this figure from Japan for possibly cheaper than the Ichibancho version on Amazon using Bashwin Collectibles. Submit a free inquiry on their website listing the figure or anything else you might want from Japan, including painting supplies, snacks, Gundams, whatever. Just mention John's Hobby Room in the How Did You Hear About Us section. As of this video, they are not a sponsor, but I know the team, they're great people, and I was really happy with the service they provided. If you like this video, please leave a thumbs up and subscribe for more videos. If you're interested in getting started in customizing your own figures, feel free to ask any questions in the comments, and I'll try my best to help. Thanks for watching. See you next time.